Anyway, Liberty Hangout. Poop Girl. A message for President Trump. This is, I guess, her interviewing Trump supporters. So let's see how this goes, I guess.
If they can protest and riot in the street, if they can hold funerals for Democrats and...
Ooh. Hold on, was she about to say the N-word? Because it sounded like she was about to say, if they can hold funerals for Democrats.
They can hold funerals for
Ooh, I think she was about to drop an N-bomb. Did you hear that? If they can hold funerals for Democrats. Let's see. She almost didn't dog whistle and almost bullhorned.
In the street, if they can hold funerals for Democrats and politicians, yes. Why can't we? Why can't we have rallies? Why can't we go to our loved ones' funerals?
Go to your funeral. No one's saying you can't go to a funeral for someone you care about. I would like you to social distance so you don't wind up having a cascade of funerals afterward, where a bunch of people who went to the funeral die, and then you go to those funerals and more people catch it, and you should probably wear masks to said funeral, but no one says you can't go to a funeral.
When you think of the destruction that's going on around the country and these cities burning and they're throwing things into AutoZone and breaking the windows, do you...
Not the AutoZone! That's where I get car batteries! I don't care.
Do you have a message for President Trump of what he should do? Should he do nothing? What do you think?
I agree with him sending the troops in and stopping it.
He already pulled them out. He pulled those troops out because he's a little bitch.
Yeah.
If the local governments can't take care of it, he should take in.
After months and months of destruction from Black Lives Matter and Antifa...
Oh no, Antifa. We can't have people who are against fascism on our streets. What'll happen if that happens? Not having fascism? Oh no!
We're gonna see here in St. Augustine what Trump supporters think
The AutoZone wasn't even done by Black Lives Matter. It was a random racist guy trying to start shit. I think the same thing happened with the Burger King a couple weeks ago. Basically, some, like, right-wing weirdos and, like, racists have been vandalizing things to try and make Black Lives Matter and Antifa look bad. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are, like, BLM protesters and Antifa people who would self-ascribe the label of Antifa who've destroyed some property. But, like, a lot of the big shit has been provocateurs, more or less, trying to make people on the left look bad. Borgor Kang.
President Trump should do about it, if anything at all. Let's see what their message to President Trump is. I have to ask, something that I'm asking people here today is with the riots going on and the destruction in all of our cities and people...
What about the peaceful protests, huh? Because most of them are that, right? Because when they protested peacefully, the police still came in and tear gassed them and pepper sprayed them. So if you make peaceful protesting impossible, then violent protests are inevitable. You basically escalated the situation. If people are protesting peacefully and you come in and break them up, they're gonna reassemble and be madder, right?
People are scared to walk outside. Do you have a message for President Trump of what you think he should be doing?
It's cute that Caitlyn thinks that President Trump has ever seen a single video of hers.
Wow, that's a hard one, because I don't know if I think he should interfere or just let them sink, honestly, because the mayors and the governors are doing nothing to stop it. Right. But we should not bail them out either.
I like that. So if they...
The governors and mayors have told Trump to get the troops the fuck out, and they have at this point, I think. Let me see. I know they were going to pull them out of Portland. Federal troops. Protests? Let's see. News. But states' rights. Well, it's only states' rights if they're a right-wing state. Portland sees peaceful night of protests following withdrawal of federal troops. Yeah, the troops have already been withdrawn. There you go. Woot woot.
They ruin their own cities. They don't get any of our tax money to fix up what they're doing.
Yeah. I heard somebody the other day said they walked around Portland and it looked like Dresden after the bombings.
Do you think Trump...
What 90 to 100-year person is walking around Portland being like, oh yes, Dresden. I was there at the Dresden bombings. Genius.
Trump should have more rallies, or
I think they either underestimate Dresden or are overestimating the damage caused by someone burning out a fucking Burger King.
Yes, absolutely. If they can protest and riot in the street, if they can hold funerals for Democrats and
She was about to say the N-word.
politicians, yes. Why can't
Uh-oh, almost had a gamer moment.
why can't we have rallies? Why can't we go to our loved ones' funerals?
You did have a rally, and it killed Herman Cain. And almost no one showed up. You had one. It went badly. President Trump is the one who's been stopped. Like, for instance, the Republican National Convention has been scaled back and shit. That wasn't enforced by anyone other than Donald Trump and the GOP. That's on them. Trump canceled rallies. They weren't forced to cancel them. His last rally went really, really poorly, so they decided to stop trying, at least for now.
yes, there was.
What's the coronavirus death toll up to? COVID-19 deaths, USA. 165,000 deaths. Lovely.
There was a Democrat congressman that just passed away, John Lewis,
Yes.
and there were hundreds of people at his funeral.
Yes.
There are friends of mine who couldn't even go to their own grandfather's funerals.
Okay? Sorry? That's gonna depend upon your state or whatever? Also, I'm pretty sure Herman Cain just died. He's also probably gonna have a pretty public funeral.
My friend, yeah.
You had that experience? I'm so sorry. It's insulting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's incredible.
I want to go to a funeral and see a dead body and then join them because everyone there's gonna be old and we're all gonna get coronavirus and fucking die.
Insulting. And it makes me hurt for you and for anybody else that has
I'm Caitlin Bennett, and my only move is to concern troll.
to experience that, because it's,
Double standard, it's hypocrisy.
oh my gosh, it's, oh, well, you guys are peasants. We're just, your family
Good for
doesn't
thee, not
matter.
for thee.
Yeah. When we look at the destruction around the
Imagine this being your personality. Big Trump flag. Trump on a tank painted to say Trump. Trump has an amazing physique in this picture too, which he does not have in real life. This in the opposite would be just as weird, by the way. Imagine if you had a Biden supporter with a Biden flag, and he was standing on a fucking tank that said Biden, and it was him with a fucking sniper rifle and an American flag. You'd be like, okay, gonna stay away from that guy.
country, and we see the burning and the looting and the.
Is Caitlin for monarchy in America? Liberty Hangout, they're monarchists. Yeah, they've tweeted about it. Let me see if I can find the tweets real quick. Liberty Hangout, monarchy. Doo-doo-doo-doo. This is from their Twitter. It says, it's far more preferable to live under a monarchy than a democracy. Democracy is mob rule of the government as state and is a soft form of communism. Democracy is communism. So, just, so you know, Athens, hey, very communistic, as we all know.
Rioting. Do you have a message for President Trump of what he should do? Or
Did I get into the secret Liberty Hangout chat? No, when I get paid from Twitch, which is going to be in the next 3 days or so, I'm going to start doing that and going into some of the different chat rooms and see what I can find.
maybe what he shouldn't do? Just let them burn? What do you think?
Well, it's kind of exposing the liberals and their cities, but at the same time,
Their cities. What? Oh no, liberal cities where most Americans live.
we can't just let our country burn to the ground. And he's doing the right thing. He's bringing the feds in.
What? This was posted August 12th. The troops are already gone. The federal troops are being pulled out. It's over. You lost.
He's bringing law and order back. You wouldn't see that.
Bringing law and order. That's why Roger Stone had his sentence commuted and all the other criminals that Trump has pardoned.
St. John's
Law and order as long as you're white.
County, because we don't play those games. We got a very conservative police department. We got a conservative sheriff's office. We got a conservative all across the board, and our commissioners and everything. So we won't have that nonsense here, and our patriots won't allow that, and neither will the sheriff's department. So
Yeah, don't bring your bull crap here.
yeah,
You've been warned.
Dragon Mike 1973, facts don't matter. Well, of course they don't.
Second warning. I mean, take it or leave it. When you think of the destruction that's going on around the country and these cities burning and they're throwing things into AutoZone and breaking the windows,
Not AutoZone!
do you
Let's see, shall we? AutoZone destroyed. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Protesters said they were being invaded. They were right. On May 28th, 2 days after the killing of George Floyd, angry demonstrators hit the streets to protest police killings. A tall man dressed completely in black, carrying a black umbrella and wielding a sledgehammer, was caught on camera destroying the windows of an auto parts store, AutoZone. Known as Umbrella Man, after searching for 2 months, Minneapolis Police Department has linked him to a white supremacy group. The New York Times reported on Wednesday, July 28th.
you have a message for President Trump of what he should do? Should he do nothing? What do you think?
I agree with him sending the troops in and stopping it.
Yeah.
It didn't stop shit. They're gone already.
If the local governments can't take care of it, he should take in.
Just like the Civil War, the South wouldn't stop keeping people as slaves, so the North had to knock on the door and go, knock, knock, the North's here, bitch. And they kicked in the door to the South, destroyed the fucking Mason-Dixon line, freed the fucking slaves.
They see what's going on in their cities.
Yes.
And they hate Trump so much, they don't
Daddy Sume with 50 bits, that was amazing.
want him to come in and help, but they can't
She's going full fascist? What do you mean going? She's been there for a while.
take control of it.
Precisely. And I believe he should send them in.
To see uncensored, uncut footage from this very trip, go to libertyhangout.tv right now. There's so much good content over there that you will not see here on Facebook or YouTube. I'll see you over there, libertyhangout.tv. If you have a message, what would you tell President Trump to do?
Yeah, they've destroyed it already. Let's take it back. Let's own our cities. You know, again, let's make these cities great again.
Making cities great again means suppressing protests, trying to advocate for the equal rights of people who are a different skin tone than me.
We'll figure it out. You know, nobody wants that going on except that one group of knuckleheads that are out there they're in it to cause chaos, and they're getting paid.
Knuckleheads, aka people who don't think it's okay for people to be murdered by the police because they're black. What a nuanced opinion.
To do it. Go in, let's take these cities back, let's build them back up again, and let's get back on track. I mean, I think people respond tremendously to that.
Yeah.
People are fed up. I mean, they're just destroying the schools and destroying the culture. I think it would be really beneficial.
Destroying the culture, aka knocking down statues of racist people. Our culture is statues! That's the weirdest hill I've seen people on the right try and die on this year. American culture is statues! No, it's not. What?
To go in and clean house.
If you had a message to him about what you think about it, what he should do, what would you say?
I think that he should
The Karen vibes are strong with this one.
try to help the communities. I don't think he should let the cities burn
Ooh, both of them.
like that. Okay. I would hope he wouldn't. I would hope he would try to just do minimum.
Fago, huh? I went to the can return today, and I returned some cans, and I had some change left over, and this was only 60 cents, so I decided to go for a Fago orange. Fago, which actually is pop. I'll call Fago pop, because it's made in Michigan, so I'd imagine the people who make Fago call it pop.
intervention to try to keep it settled down, but I think also working with the mayors and the governors of the states and trying to get something reasonable, decided between all of them so everybody feels safe and the communities can come back together, because it's hurting everybody.
On this probably $5 million home behind you right on the beach in Florida, it says Trump 2020, all lives matter. Rich white people don't like Black Lives Matter. More news at 11.
It's hurting everybody.
I love Trump, I love America, and I wish all this violence would go away.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
Excuse me, what about the police violence? That's what the protests are about? So you're fine with police committing violence on people who don't look like you, but those minutes someone says, hey, can we have some rights? You go, we gotta shut this shit down. There's one of Caitlyn's bodyguards. Imagining Caitlyn walking down the beach in this Florida white rich community with 4 bodyguards all armed is hilarious to me.
Ask Trump supporters today.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point one of these rich Karens ends up calling the police on Caitlyn because she's walking around with a black security guard. I guarantee there's some Karen out there going why is that black guy walking around in my neighborhood? Probably the people with the banner that said all lives matter.
Is if you could say something to President Trump about the violence going on, what would you say to him? Do you think he's doing enough? Does he need to do more?
I don't even know he knows what to do. I wouldn't even know what to do. I would not want to be him in this position because it's too many decisions.
In fairness to Trump, not knowing what to do has kind of been his MO for the last 4 years, so...
Make one decision, he's got the right that are against him, you got the left against him, you got everybody that he does, the poor guy stuck in the middle.
Well, I think he's doing the right thing. I think he's trying to intervene and restore law and order. It's just ridiculous that people can just blatantly get away with unlawlessness. It's
unlawlessness.
Frustrating, it's maddening, and I think he's such...
Question. What about all the criminals that worked for Trump whose sentences he's commuted? Do you care about those criminals, or is that okay because they're white? Just thought I'd ask.
A common sense individual, he's looking at that and saying, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah, they're in Florida.
Mayors, governors, get your acts in order. Otherwise, I'll do it for you.
And then he tries to come in and do it for them. They don't want him there.
Correct. Get the fuck out.
It's almost like they'd rather their city burn and their citizens get attacked than accept help from Trump just to prove a point.
Or, how about this? Governors don't like jackbooted federal thugs with no ID on them and nothing to identify themselves kidnapping people off the street. Probably that one.
Absolutely. The world's turned upside down. It's just...
The world's turned upside down. Hamilton.
Ridiculous.
It's the clown world out here.
It is.
Clown world, which is, what do you know, an alt-right Nazi dog whistle.
It really is.
Somebody should step in with Antifa and do something, and because they're coming from the wrong place, and the what they're doing to the properties and the businesses and downtowns of these cities. How are they ever going to replace them? How are they ever going to
insurance
get back to where they were? Are they going to be burned out? Are they going to be left like that for generations? I don't think that's right, and they're not stepping up, and they're not saying what they want.
Right.
All they're saying is we want to destroy it. They're not saying how they're going to make it better.
My honest opinion.
Says man who has never heard a single Black Lives Matter protester actually talk about the police reforms they'd like to put into motion. What do you mean they don't have a plan? You can look on, the websites of Black Lives Matter and find the policing reforms that they want to put into place. They're actual policy positions. I guarantee that guy hasn't looked up Black Lives Matter or their website ever to actually hear what Black Lives Matter says about policing reform. Cotton Candy 903 with 10 bits. People don't vote when they've been Gestapo'd. True.
I think to let the cities tear up their own cities, and then that's their fault. That has nothing to do with it. Let it burn. Let them burn.
Let it burn and let the mayors take care of it.
Yeah.
They created the problem.
Yep.
The cities are not burning down. What the fuck are you talking about? Why do they keep bringing this up? Like, let's see. Portland protests. Portland protests remain calm during 76th night after threat of arrests weakened. It's almost like when the police escalate use of force and federal agents come in, people are gonna fight back. Weird. Bunch of people just walking down the street. Don't see anything on fucking fire. Just people hanging out. This person fell out of a truck. Oof, that sucks. Same person falling out of a truck. Weird that I don't see anything on fire. It's almost like they've been indoctrinated by Fox News to think things are happening that aren't.
Why should we have to pay for it?
That's the thing. Trump has offered to send in people to help a bunch of cities, and the mayors are like, we don't want you here. They're so angry. They're so full of hate. They would rather Trump stay away just to prove a point and let their citizens be attacked, killed, murdered, and their businesses destroyed.
Holy straw man, Batman. You're applying motivations to these mayors that are not applicable. They just don't want federal troops against their will put on their streets. Do you not see how that could be a slippery slope into some really bad shit? If the federal government can send military troops to any city they want for any reason, that's bad. That's real bad. This is the kind of shit that they would say that Obama would do. They'd be like, oh my god, Obama's gonna call for martial law and bring military into the cities. And like, Trump literally did this. Trump literally sent federal troops to American cities without the consent of the government of those cities or states. Like, what is wrong with you people?
What the heck is going on?
I mean, it's just, I think they should just lay in the bed that they made. I mean, they, just like the protesting going on, they're calling it peaceful protests.
Because the vast majority of it is.
They're not.
They are.
No.
They want to burn their cities, let them burn.
Again, it's not on fire, so stop watching so much Breitbart and maybe actually turn on some video of what's going on. The DAC, thank you for subscribing.
Their cities, I don't think Trump should have to send in extra to help.
I agree. He should leave it the fuck alone, because it's none of his business.
I think he's wasting our money.
Your money? Florida takes more from the federal government in terms of what it pays in taxes than what it pays in. Your state's in the red, bud. Nope. You don't get to say, I don't want to pay for these other people, when your state's expenses get paid for by blue states who actually make money via their taxes, like California. Jesus.
Our tax dollars, they're stealing from us. And, and it's just they're going to do what they want to do.
What do you think? Do you have a message of how he should handle it?
I completely agree with what she just said, 100%. Yeah, just minimal intervention to just, help the people in the town and get them back on their feet, and nobody should have to live through what they're living through. It's horrible.
All those
Oh no, people are peacefully protesting outside of my house. I'd much rather have jackbooted thugs from the federal government sent outside to beat up the peaceful protesters and kidnap them.
businesses that have lost their revenue, it's horrific.
These people are all brainwashed. Some of them, yes, and the others know that what they're saying is untrue, but they're actively trying to sow discord and misinformation.
They've already been shut down, and then they go in there and it's like millions of dollars more that they're going to have to come up with while they've been shut down because of everything going on. When we look at the destruction that's going on around the country and these cities are just burning, Do you have a message for
Again
President?
with this idea that they're burning. What are you talking about? The only burning that took place was in Washington fucking D.C., and that was like a month and a half or 2 months ago.
Trump, or any advice of what he should do about it, or maybe just stay out of it?
I think he has been staying out of it to the most part. It's really up to the cities and the states. We all believe this, but ultimately it is his job.
No, what do you mean you all believe this? No, you don't. Everyone else in this video disagreed with you.
That if the cities and states don't do their jobs, then someone's got to step in.
Right.
You know,
So you think he should step in and get things under control?
at some point, I'm afraid it's going to have to be done.
Yeah.
If they can't police themselves, someone's got to police them.
And he steps in, he tries to step in with Portland.
Basically, they're saying, get black people in line, cities and states. No, fuck you. Do police reform. Do police reform, and it'll stop.
They don't want his help. They want to let their citizens be attacked and their cities be destroyed. It's insane.
They're all playing a political game.
Yeah.
And
says the man holding a Trump flag. They're all playing a political game, unlike me, who just sits here on the sidewalk with the Trump flag.
and it's a bad game for our country. It's super bad.
Trump is in Portland trying to help, and they're like, we don't want you here. Everything's under control, but...
Because it is. Because things only escalated once federal troops got there. Things were actually starting to calm down, and then ironically, once the troops got there, stuff ratcheted up because people, what a shock, don't like their friends being kidnapped in vans by unmarked military personnel.
Anybody who walks through there looks like you're in a third world country that doesn't even have running water. It's insane.
Oh, but if you
Just wait until you hear about Flint, Michigan.
listen to Nadler, that's just a myth, right?
Yeah, it's a myth. That was Flecka's. Yeah, shout out to Flecka's, Austin Fletcher. Yeah, Flecka's talks. He was like, oh, that's a myth. That's not happening. All you have to do is open your eyes. Look at any video.
You know what really, really pisses me off about this whole the Black Lives Matter? They say all like this whole Black Lives Matter, but they're not even thinking about the Black lives that are killed in the womb.
Oh my fucking god, here we go with the abortion thing, as if abortion is morally equivalent to an adult person being murdered by the police. Not the case.
Exactly.
400,000 of them.
Yep. You know the number.
Yeah, I do.
You got it.
I do.
Okay, now quote me the statistic of how many people are killed by the police every year. You have the abortion one memorized, so surely, since you're so pro-life, you must have the ones about, like, people who die due to lack of health care because of the expense, people who are killed by the police, armed or unarmed. Any of those statistics? No, you don't have those off the top of your head? Oh, so you're an ID log. Weird.
I know my numbers.
Why aren't they protesting in front of Planned Parenthoods or abortion clinics in general? Why aren't they protesting there if they cared about Black lives?
Because a fetus isn't a baby. That's the answer.
My gosh, they're being just ripped apart and flushed down the toilet, and no one bats an eye.
No, and you know what? It's just it makes me sick to my stomach because you do have people out there that can't have kids that's like me.
I'm sorry.
And then you watch that,
yeah,
and you hear about that, and it's like they're idiots. And I do not support Planned Parenthood. I will not support anybody that has an abortion all the way down to if you get raped. I don't support that.
An ideologue is. An ideologue is basically someone who is partisan and advocating for a very specific ideology without any thought for how that fits into the greater narrative.
Give it up for adoption.
Yeah.
It still has a life at conception. That's all that is.
President Trump is draining the swamp up there.
Imagine seeing the past 4 years of corruption and just sick, fucked up shit happening in the government because of Donald Trump and his administration and going, he's draining the swamp. What the fuck are you people watching? What reality do you live in?
In D.C., and he's got a massive undertaking. We have to start draining our local swamps down here because that's the headwaters for what's happening in D.C. So we need to do what Trump's doing there. So we all got to step up. That way,
gotta vote.
That way, you got to vote. all the way down the line. Know who your candidates are, too.
Go to libertyhangout.tv right now to watch Caitlin Bennett Uncensored. Not only will you get to watch exclusive content from me, but you'll get to say you stood for the truth, you stood against radical
Caitlin having OnlyFans now? This sounds like a pitch for an OnlyFans.
leftism, and you stood up for America. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like and share, hit that subscribe button, and click the notification.
She's just the worst. Daddy Sume, it's just scat porn. Oh, God. You know, the thing about Poop Girl is, even if she didn't shit her pants very publicly, literally, if you don't know about that, she'd still be Poop Girl even without that. Because she's poop. Now that's quality content.